Right, Guardian next. And Luis Rubiales has said he will resign, Paul, but he said it in Spanish.
He did say in Spanish.
I'm
not going to attempt Spanish at all to quit in the wake of the World Cup kiss scandal. So this has come after. I mean, by the way, this took place on the final of the Women's World Cup, in which Spain won, and it's been entirely overshadowed. And it took place on the 20th of August, which is now best part of 3 weeks ago, if not exactly 3 weeks ago. And I've kind of grown with this story. When I first saw this kiss, as a kind of a British guy, I thought it was way over the top. OK, I was willing to accept that there is some Mediterranean nuance going on here, and that's how they were celebrating. And perhaps, you know, I've been kissed on live TV by Lewis Schaefer. I've made no complaint, and Lewis has certainly not stepped down. But what struck me here is I've never really seen a victim to this, because the victim would be the woman involved, but she's never come out to say that she was a victim, really.
Well, she has. She's...
But, however, haven't we seen footage of her on the team bus immediately after the kiss, showing pictures and going, look how much fun we were having there, and them all laughing about it? I'm not convinced. And this is dangerous ground to find myself on, but I'm not convinced she is a victim in this. I'm not convinced that she felt she was a victim. But we've got this culture war situation now where we've got to fight for the rights of people who maybe even don't even feel victimised.
Well, you know, victimhood, it's a tricky word, but also it doesn't necessarily happen immediately. The way that you react in the moment is something that happened later. The other point that a lot of people say is, you know, imagine if that was your daughter, your grandmother, whatever, if he's a bit weird. But you know what I mean? I just think it's wrong.
Yes.
That comes down to it. Now he has now resigned, not been fired because he's the boss. But then the coach who actually took them to victory resigned for supporting him. I mean, his position was always untenable, but I mean, it's unbelievable he clinged on as long as he did. Surely.
What, to her lips? I think the thing is, when somebody complains later, first of all, she might have been suppressing how she felt for a while. Yeah. Secondly, seeing the footage might then trigger something. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, I don't want you to not buy my book on Amazon because you think I'm supporting that man. No, the point is that sometimes when people complain later, you think, well, maybe someone's told you, you know, you can benefit from this, you can benefit from this. Like somebody else has told you to pretend you feel something you don't. And I think that's very dangerous when people go, oh, I was really, really violated, when they didn't feel it at the time. But you can keep an emotion to yourself and then maybe sleep on it a couple of days and then go, actually, I didn't like that.
Yeah, and people react in different ways. And certainly women confronted with someone physical, their boss, arguably, you know, you would necessarily react in that way and then later on go, wait a minute, that was out of order. I believe it's out of order, and I believe he should have resigned.
Resign's a strong... But what about apologise? Because we're living in such a cancel culture. Like, when people resign, it's like, what's he going to do now? He's got a family to feed. Like, you might go, no, he did that. We live in such a... You lose your job. You know, what's he going to do now because of a kiss? It was wrong, but what's he going to do? I suppose...
Two words.
No, he could send his story to the press. Kiss and tell.
Oh, OK. I was going to say women's rugby.